Any word on Station...
Hello, friend. How can Mother Pearl be of help today? Of course, my child. After all that you have done for us, we would love to help you in the upcoming battle. After all the training in virtual reality, the young ones would relish an opportunity to put their skills to battle. We'll be there when you need us.
One of the ranger vets looked at me and I just about surrendered.
I heard you killed Benny over at the Tops. I bet you think you're some sort of tough cookie. A piece of advice. If you mess with any of my men, you'll regret it. Yeah, more the usual. We're keeping an eye on the troopers to make sure they don't do anything stupid. And the only stupid one we've had lately is Private Irwin. He's starting to cause more trouble than he's worth. Not much to tell. Keeping the troopers in line and monitoring the strip keeps me busy. It's my job and I'm gonna do it well. Now if that's all... Crocker isn't too bad. He mostly stays in his office now. If you have any questions about the embassy, you should ask him. He'll talk your ear off.
It's good to see such an outstanding citizen of the NCR. What can I do for you, my friend? I can provide a quick history lesson. In 2274, President Kimball sent the NCR Army into the Mojavian force with the objective of occupying and repairing Hoover Dam. Rangers and Army scouts had confirmed that the dam was basically unoccupied and could be restored to an operable condition. Upon arriving at the dam, however, they discovered that a large force of tribals and robots had occupied it. This was our introduction to the three families, the Securitrons and, of course, Mr. House. Using his Securitrons as intermediaries, Mr. House called for parley. He claimed his forces had occupied Hoover Dam in order to safeguard it for our arrival, and that he was ready to turn it over to us, so long as we could agree to terms. Those terms became the Treaty of New Vegas. The treaty recognized Mr. House's sovereignty over the Strip and granted us rights to establish military bases at the dam and McCarran Airport. The NCR is legally permitted to send 95% of the electricity produced by the dam to our home states. The remaining 5% goes to the Strip. The treaty actually makes it illegal for the NCR to prevent its citizens or troops on furlough from visiting the Strip. Once on the Strip, our citizens are subject to arrest or punishment by House's Securitrons, though that's a rare occurrence. Our troops enjoy a different status. It's illegal for the Securitrons to take action against them. Of course, it's also illegal for our troops to carry firearms on the Strip, so there isn't much trouble they can get into. Our military police does an adequate job of keeping the troops on furlough in line. I don't envy them that task. The embassy was established a few weeks after the treaty was signed. Basically, Mr. House handed us a dumpy little building he had no interest in renovating. I'm the third ambassador to hold this post, and the first, I think, to accept its limitations. My predecessors had ambitions of engineering the annexation of the Mojave. They thought they'd convince Mr. House to join up. I've never even spoken to the man, or whatever he is. Maybe the situation will change once we've beaten the Legion once and for all. Now we mostly just keep track of the NCR citizens and troopers around and make sure they don't get in trouble, but that's Captain Papa's job. I keep myself busy with paperwork and reports that get sent back to the NCR. It's mostly busy work, but every once in a while we make progress. It's the same old stuff around here. If you want more information, try talking to some of the other guys around here. I hope you've returned with good news. Are they willing to help the NCR? Excellent work. I can't tell you how useful that will be. In any event, I have another assignment ready and waiting for you, but we can speak of it later. Rest up, and when you're ready, speak to me again. It's good to see such an outstanding citizen of the NCR. What can I do for you, my friend? So I did. As you may have noticed, our position here in New Vegas is tenuous. We've made great strides, sure, but the NCR is not welcomed here, merely tolerated. And even then, not by everyone. We've had reports of violence against NCR citizens in a neighborhood just to the northeast called Freeside. Ever been there? I'm inclined to agree, but it's a slum with NCR citizens in it. And as such, it falls under my jurisdiction. Violence is something of a way of life there, but there's been a disturbing rise in the number of attacks on our people lately. More worrying is the fact that our sources suggest the violence is being perpetrated by the gang that runs the place, the Kings. I need someone to look into this that won't attract attention. Would you be interested? Good. Our men have come up with 2 different plans for seeing an end to the violence. First, our sources have tracked most of the attacks back to a king named Pacer. The consensus is that the violence will stop if he's removed. The problem is we can't simply kill him. In the current climate, the NCR would likely be blamed for his death. There is an alternative option, but my sources feel that getting rid of this Pacer fellow is our best shot. Make it look like an accident, or pin the deed on someone else. Look into this guy's affairs and I'm sure you'll find something you can use. See, that's exactly the type of information we can use. In fact, that's perfect. Those fancy weapons the Van Graffs peddle aren't exactly common. It goes without saying that actually getting the Van Graffs to do the deed would be the ideal solution. However, if Pacer were killed with either a laser or a plasma-based weapon, everyone would automatically assume the Van Graffs did it. Still, unless you want several dozen armed men at your throat, you'd have to kill him without being seen. Be careful. I'll leave the method up to you. In that case, we could take a different tact, but one that at least have more... If we can't go after the man responsible, we'll simply appeal to the man above him. The Kings, including our friend Pacer, report to the leader of their gang, a man who calls himself the King. He's Caucasian, in his mid-30s, and extremely charismatic. It's that last part we're counting on. The Kings are a bunch of young hoodlums who aren't inclined to listen to anyone except him. Get him on your side, and the rest will fall in line. Go and talk to the king. Try to convince him to put an end to this violence. Pacer's a punk, but he won't likely disobey a direct order. The king might not be open to the idea at first, so you may have to integrate yourself with him. Do whatever it takes. When it's done, one way or the other, report back here and we'll take it from there. I wish you luck. If you run into some difficulty and think you'd rather just take the shot with Pacer, that's fine too.
Personal space meaning anything to you, lady?
Aye.
Things have been a lot better since you helped with those soldier boys. Thanks again. So, what can I do for you? I'd like to help you out, especially considering all you've done. But that's a pretty big favor you're asking for, and you've already used yours. Was there anything else you wanted?
I've got my eye on you. You cross the Kings, you'll regret it.
Things are tense on the strip right now. The head of one of Mr. House's families was killed. Time to lay low, you ask me.
Looks like Gamora's under new management. I wonder what happened. I've heard that some of the bosses of the Fiends were killed. Wouldn't be surprised if the NCR had something to do with it.
You returned to me a king yourself. It would be an honor for me to do your hair. You wound me. You simply must let me have a go at that hair sometime.
There's talk of someone going into Lucky 38 to talk to Mr. House. That's bullshit. Everyone knows Mr. House doesn't talk to anyone.
I'll sit.
I've got you.
Hi.
Eat this! What is it?
Hey.
Staying long?
Hello. Yes? Do you have something to report? Killing two birds with one stone. Excellent. You've done a great service for the NCR. Now, you're probably wondering about your reward. This has been something of a hot-button topic, so I was able to secure this for you. Well, I don't officially have access to any more funds, but here. This is from me personally. There's more coming your way, too. I've received a message from Colonel Moore up at Hoover Dam. She's been following your exploits and has requested that you meet with her. You're not officially in the employ of the NCR, so there's nothing forcing you to go. But I'd go see her sooner rather than later. The Colonel is not someone you want to keep waiting. It's good to see such an outstanding citizen of...
What is it?